Hi Fantasy Managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. In this video we're looking at players to bring in for game week 10. Only a few days left to make some decisions. The deadline is fast looming. We have 9 players here that I want to talk to you about who could potentially make the difference in your mini leagues or overall rank. So let's have a look at the pros and cons and statistics for each of them and then you can decide. Another Manchester City asset for you, Gabriel Jesus, 8.6. He's listed as a forward and he's playing more or less on the right wing these days for Manchester City since the start of the season when he switched there, allowing Ferran Torres to go down the middle. And even in the last game we saw that he was still out there wide with Foden coming into the middle. So it looks like his self-proclaimed love for being out on that right wing is being allowed by Pep. Crystal Palace at home looks like a great fixture. As we've seen before, Manchester United, West Ham, Everton, not the greatest. But again, it depends on your view as how fixture-proof Manchester City are. They can, as we know, score against anyone on their day. His expected goal involvement, 0.66, 46 points. His actual goal involvement is pretty much involved in 7 goals. He has started 7 games this season, so pretty much every time he's turning up and starting, he is getting in some way involved with goals. The good things about him, it's Manchester City. Okay, that's that. If you go in a Manchester City asset and he plays most weeks, he's going to get you scoring and assisting somewhere along the line. He's not nailed on and he's not cheap either. He takes up a premium spot up front, which is quite precious with the other strikers around. But it is Manchester City. As a player always playing up front for Manchester City, again, he could be a good option. Is he nailed on? We can't ever say that about any Manchester City assets, I'm afraid. Possibly what steers me away from him is you have the like of Bernardo Silva, who's a lot cheaper. You save money by moving across to Foden. Then you've got the likes of Grealish. So it is. If he was playing up front, I think he'd be much more attractive. But for me, I think possibly there are the cheaper options. But so far this season, he has returned a lot of games. So Jesus, maybe one to keep on your watch list. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. If you like this sort of content, please follow the link at the end of the video where it will show you our wildcard team and our watch list. But in the meantime, let's have a look at the next player. Kelechi Iheanacho, he is £7 million. His expected goal involvement 0.59. Again, that's pretty good. 25 points this season. His goal involvements are 6. He's played minutes in every single game since the start of the season, and that was just coming off after scoring in the Community Shield with a penalty. His fixtures look okay. Arsenal at home, Leeds away, Chelsea obviously a difficult one, and then you got Watford at home. After that, Leicester's fixtures look really attractive. They go on a run of really nice games, so he looks like a possibility. He started the last 3, which is really interesting. He is at a mid-range price. You'd say he's slightly cheaper than the likes of other strikers such as Bamford or DCL. You wouldn't say he's nailed on. That's the main problem. We know from history and the past, you go back to last season if you're an FPL player then, what a legend he was towards the end of last season. He was just scoring or returning in most games. He's not got a lot of attacking returns, but I would say his minutes have been really managed. He's been Europa League starting, but not always in the Premier League. But last 3 games he had starts. If Iheanacho starts every game, and if I knew he was nailed on in that Leicester side, I would not hesitate to go to him because he always returns. He is a bit of an FPL legend. Last season he showed that it's just, do you risk him not playing? At the moment, Leicester winning, him playing up front, also a flag on Vardy, so does that mean that there's more chance that he keeps his place? I don't know. It's a risk playing him because you're just not sure of those minutes. But if he does get 90 minutes, he's a really good FPL asset to own. Mateo Kovacic playing in midfield for Chelsea. He's starting every game. He's got Newcastle away this weekend. And he's got Burnley at home, Leicester away, Manchester United. Expected goal involvement this season is pretty good. It's 0.41. A bit like we've said with other players on. That's not humongous. It's not fabulous. It's not bad either. But when you consider 5.3 is his price, then that becomes pretty impressive. 46 points he's got so far. Goal involvement 6, that's good from Mateo Kovacic. He's playing in midfield for a Chelsea side that is really potent, so that's going to interest us straight away. He's nailed on because he's just playing every week. He is playing quite an advanced role. He's loving those balls in behind to those fullbacks. He is cheap, so all those things point in the right direction for us. One thing I'd say is it does take up a Chelsea slot. If we're doubling up on their defence, suddenly it only leaves us one more slot in midfield for a Mount or a Havertz, And if Lukaku comes back and we want to jump on him, suddenly it becomes a lot more difficult. So I do think we need to bear that in mind. If for Kovacic and you want to go to Lukaku, it's going to be 2 moves, not 1. The only other thing I'd say about Kovacic is where he is getting quite a few goal involvements, the majority of those are through assists. Now, the most points we're going to get are through goals, so you have to bear that in mind. But for 5.3, again, he's another one of those players, ordinarily I'd say, as a budget player, I wouldn't mind putting him on the bench for harder games. But you could equally argue, again, Chelsea, doesn't really matter who they play, they're potentially going to score against anyone. I'm just not sure. They're taking up the slot. I know quite a few people have him already, and I think I would definitely keep him. Bringing him in, I'm just not sure, unless I only had that budget to go for, if he'd be the man that I would be looking for. Do like him, takes up that slot, awkward to move to another Chelsea player, and it's just those constant assist potentials, not goals. Bryan Mbeumo is a player we've talked about since the start of the season and bringing him in. One of the main reasons we've always talked about him is because he is down as a midfielder in FPL, but we know he plays a lot further forward, and that just gives us the opportunity to maximise those points. A midfielder scoring goals is brilliant, and as we saw last year with Stuart Dallas, if you can get a defender scoring goals who actually plays in midfield, what an impact that can be. His expected goal involvement this year is good. It's 0.5 points. He's already got 30. He's got 2 goal involvements, and his fixtures are what attracts us to those Brentford players right now. Burnley away, Norwich at home, Newcastle away, even Everton at home. They are scoring against everyone. You've got to imagine. The only team they blanked again recently was Chelsea, and they should have scored in that game, but they got 3 against Liverpool. They went to West Ham, got a couple. They scored against Leicester. So there are goals there, and Bryan Mbeumo is only 5.6 million. That's really good value. If we look at him, he's nailed on. He's played every game so far this season. The fixtures look brilliant for him, and he's a very cheap budget player. Loves it at the post. That's the only thing he'd say. It could be so much different. If 1 or 2 of those shots had gone in, I'm pretty sure his ownership would be huge and off the scale if he got a couple more returns. But he's only got 2 so far. Absolutely loves to shoot. His shots in the box and around the box ratio is fantastic. He's shooting all the time. You just imagine with those fixtures that if Brentford score, he's going to be involved. One thing to be aware, he has a slight flag over him at the moment. So if you're looking to move to him, like I am really tempted to do, then we need to just check on that sort of news conference, press conference information about whether he's fit or not. But for those fixtures, I think Mbeumo, a Brentford option, someone who plays up front, that's actually just a midfielder. It's just something that's hard to ignore. Phil Foden, he is being pretty heavily transferred in at the moment. 8.1 million. His price has risen from 7.9 not so long ago. He has only just come into that Manchester City side after missing the first few games of this season. So he's actually played the last 4 games. So he's getting plenty of game time. Looking at those fixtures, you have to say Palace at home looks like a really attractive one. Then you've got Manchester United away. That's red. You can interpret that a number of ways. And then Everton at home, West Ham at home. The one thing you know about Manchester City is that they are almost fixture-proof. They will score goals against pretty much anyone, whoever they're playing. So how much of those fixtures you want to take notice of, I don't know. Expected goal involvement, only 0.82. I say only 0.82. That's really good. He's got 35 points. It's not quite as much as, let's say, Emil Smith-Rowe, but he's only played in the last 4 games, and he's got 5 goal involvements. So that's really impressive from Phil Foden. Started the last 4 Manchester City games. He's playing up front. We put a question mark. While Torres is not playing, and De Bruyne wasn't in the last game, he's actually playing in a more central forward role. Scoring, assisting in the last game as well. He got a couple. So what's not to like about Phil Foden? We've got not nailed on. You just never know, is it? It's Pep Roulette. Do you risk having Phil Foden in your side? You just never know if he's going to play. We do know he's played the last 4 games. You've got EFL, you've got European Champions League games as well coming along. Also, you'd say he's not cheap, but he's not expensive either. I mean, a Phil Foden playing up front centrally for Manchester City, starting every week, 8.1 is an absolute steal. The problem is he going to remain up front? And even if he plays out wide, I think I could live with it. Is he nailed on? We just don't know. What we do know is he's getting certainly more time under Pep. Pep seems to trust him. He came in against Chelsea and Liverpool with very little game time under his belt, so he's obviously a player that Pep will go to and seems to have more faith in. 8.1, he could be an absolute steal. Like I said, his price is going up at the moment, but he looks like a great option for Manchester City. Yuri Tillemans, 0.33 is expected goal involvement. He has 47 points so far this season. He's actually contributed goals, involvements of 5, 3 goals, 2 assists, 6.5. Something's changed with his positional play this year. We've looked at him previously. He certainly seems to be playing a lot further forward. And my goodness, some of the goals he scored have been just phenomenal. Arsenal at home coming out with Leeds away. Then you've got Chelsea, Watford. After that, as we mentioned before with Iheanacho, Leicester's fixtures look really nice in the medium to long term. So he would save your transfer by bringing him in now. In terms of his other benefits, he's nailed on. He's played every minute of every league game so far this season. As we talked, he's playing more advanced. Yes, he's of a nice price. The fixture's not great in the short term, but the medium term, yes, they look good. I really like Yuri Tillemans. I'm not sure whether actually I'm a little bit worried about the fact that he has played every single minute of every game. He's also playing in the Europa League. That seems an awful lot of football. But, you know, I can't have it both ways. I suppose I can't look for an FPL asset that's going to play every game and then moan about the fact that he's getting too much football. If that's what he's doing, that's what he's doing. 6.5, I just wonder, can he keep scoring these wonder goals? He got the FA Cup goal last year. The goal against Brentford was just insane. The Manchester United goal was just quality. But can he keep producing goals like that? His shots in the box are not high for a midfielder. He just seems to be exceeding his goal involvement expectancy. And the only other player that comes to mind who does that really is Son. And we know what a good player is. Is Yuri Tillemans in the same bracket as Son? I'm just not sure there's enough evidence to convince me in the longer term. Do like I said, they're scoring lots of goals. He is going to play, so just by virtue of being in that midfield and Leicester scoring goals, you would expect some returns. So 6.5, possibly I'm missing a trick by not bringing him in. I don't feel that I'm ready for him yet. I just think there's possibly better options. But again, he's a good differential. And if you fancy Leicester to score goals, think they're good enough, and you're a fan of Yuri Tillemans, bring him in. For statistical and detailed analysis on Reece James and Ben Chilwell, please don't forget to check out our video on Chelsea defenders earlier on in the week. And also check out our early watch list with Mason Mount, Broha, Cornet and King featured. Here's a man we've seen to be talking about before the season started, Ivan Toney. He's gone down in price, he's gone back up in price. His fixtures look brilliant as we looked at earlier with Brian Mbeumo. Burnley away, then you got the Norwich, Newcastle. I don't think you can really ask for 3 better fixtures to target. He's played every minute of every game so far. Expecting goal involvement is good, 0.6. 35 points he's got so far. Goal involvement is actually contributing 4 of the 9 games we played so far. So that's not bad at all. For a 6.5 budget striker, that's pretty good. He's nailed on, as we've seen, played every single minute. Fixtures look great. He's on pens as well, and he's cheap. For a player that plays every week and a team that's scoring goals, he looks like a really good option. You could claim that he hasn't returned in the last 4 games. Is that a worry? For me, I'm not too worried. Those fixtures look so good. He is the main man. Everything comes through Toney. So even if he doesn't score, I do feel like he's going to get assists there as well. Penalties, yes, he's on as well. I do think he's a good option. Those Brentford fixtures, I don't think I want to miss out. I've never owned Toney so far. Constantly threatening, thinking about it. And it hasn't bitten me yet. But I do think maybe now's the time to jump on him with those fixtures. The most expensive defender in the game, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I had him in my side from the start when I wild-carded a couple of weeks ago. I took him out mainly due to the fact that he wasn't starting. He had an injury concern and the fixtures didn't look great. I'm now looking for a way to get him back in. His expected goal involvement 0.6. We see that it's much better than a lot of midfielders or even strikers on the game. We know how attacking that Trent can be. 51 points is incredible. Goal involvements 8 out of something like the 8 games he's played so far. Brighton at home is a really good fixture for him. West Ham away, they've got Everton at home, Southampton. So their fixtures are there for him as well. He's absolutely nailed on. We know how attacking that Trent can be. Lots of attacking returns. The only thing I suppose the drawback is that he is expensive. You've got to pay an extra 1.5 million to get him above an Azpilicueta. You've got to pay an extra almost 2 million to get in him ahead of a Chilwell or a Reece James. Is he worth that extra money? Do you pay it as well? If, like me, you've got the likes of Livramento as a great option on the bench, and you have 2 Chelsea defenders, 2 Manchester City defenders, how or who do you sacrifice to bring Alexander in? Is he going to get those extra points, or can I spend that extra 1.5, 2 million in midfield up front to make better returns? That's what you've got to ask yourself. If I've got him already, I'm definitely keeping him. Is he worth a transfer to bring in? Possibly. He goes to Old Trafford, he gets an assist and a clean sheet. Liverpool's defence looks good this season. He is, I wouldn't say he's a must-have, but he's certainly someone that when I'm watching the fixtures over the weekend, I'm always constantly regretting or hiding him behind the sofa because I know he's going to get involved. There's going to be a clean sheet involved. I hate not owning him, but getting to him can be quite tricky. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that subscribe button, click on the like. Be sure to check out our other watch list, our wildcard videos. We have team selection coming up. In the meantime, thanks for watching, guys. Hope to speak to you soon.